It is now. Well, there's a long ball through. And
oh my God, an insane goal! I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen.
Hoylett's got the better of Buxton. Puts it into an area. Keogh, Zamora!
Hello and welcome back to the fourth episode of our Talk About Nothing Football podcast. I am Alfie. As always, I'm joined by Hugo.
Hello.
And this is our fourth episode. We filmed an episode earlier in the week, but Zoom let us down and the recording was nowhere to be seen. So we will try and get that episode re-recorded for a later date, but we are bringing you an emergency episode on a beautiful Tuesday evening. And I say, if there's not anything you have to say, then we'll get straight into it.
No. I don't know anything to say in particular. It's probably worth noting that our format for today, do you want to go through the format we're going to be doing in today's episode?
Okay. So we're going to start with a hot take each. Hot takes is a segment which is becoming a very popular segment on the show. And then we're going to have some chat about the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga started last week or 2 weeks ago. There's a lot to talk about. So today we're filming this on Tuesday the 26th. So Bayern Dortmund was earlier in the day. There were some games kicking off 7:45. So we're going to talk about Hugo's going to talk about Bayern Dortmund, and we're going to also introduce a new segment called Good Week, Bad Week, where we discuss teams, players, people that have had a good week and have had a bad week. And then we're going to end... And then we're going to end the show with my quiz for Hugo, see if he can better his score of 2 out of 10, which he proudly achieved in the first episode. And it's kind of like a career paths themed quiz.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
What we love to hear on this show. So I want you to start with your hot take because you are very happy about it and I want to hear it. So whenever you're ready.
So this is not a cop-out. Just before potential...
Which means it's a cop-out.
No. So you might remember that. I think it was with Dan in our third episode, but it was filmed quite a long time ago from now. I can't really remember which episode it was in. But anyway, I talked about Norwich. And in particular, I talked about a certain Emiliano Buendia. And, I made a comment about liking him to Grealish and Maddison. It got a bit rowdy from your and Dan's side. But my hot take is simply that he is better than Grealish and Maddison. And today I've got the stats to back it up. Last week I kind of just waffled off the top of my head stats. No, I've got them right in front of me. I will start.
Are you feeling okay?
I'm getting excited. Okay, so the one thing Buendia's not got for him are the goals. And yes, okay, goals are important, blah, blah, blah. Just shut up, okay?
I actually think you have stunned me into silence. I don't know what to say.
I'm on a roll. But the underlying stats of Buendia, which is, and bear in mind, it's his first season in the Premier League. So not his first season in English football, which I was going to say. But his underlying stats, they look better, more promising than Grealish and Maddison. He's got 2 years on Grealish and 1 year on Maddison. He creates 3.27 passes that lead to shots compared per 90, that is, compared to Grealish's 2.7 and Maddison's 2.8. He completes 4.1 dribbles per 90, which is fourth in the Premier League behind St. Maximin, Adama Traore and Wilf Zaha, to Grealish's 3.6 and Maddison's 3.6 as well. And then one thing which, on the last episode, I talked about how he hadn't been playing that many times towards the back end of the kind of first part of the season, or however the season's going to go on. And I think you or Dan said it's because he doesn't do any defending, or words to that effect. Well, he clocks up 4 tackles and interceptions per 90, compared to Grealish's 2.19 and Maddison's 1.75, which is pathetic. As I said, he's got less minutes, so those goals and assists perhaps haven't been coming. We could say are due to the less minutes, and I think these stats prove it as well. That Buendia has got more potential and is better. Would be a better buy for someone in the summer than Grealish or Maddison. Alfie.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to start with saying that you're wrong. Because the starts don't come. He's not scoring because of a lack of starts. He's not starting because of a lack of scoring. It's not like he's not. If he scored, the same amount and assisted and contributed the same amount as Maddison and Grealish do, then he would start in a Norwich team.
But
A
one
team
thing
that's down.
I'd argue that Grealish, for Villa, Grealish is their main source of goals. Maddison, they've
Or
got
creativity, at least.
Well, yeah, creativity, but goals especially, I'd say for Villa is Grealish. Leicester, perhaps it's Vardy. So with Grealish, he's needed to score their goals. While for Buendia, they've got Pukki and probably Cantwell, who they look for more goals.
But they're not scoring goals. That's the thing.
No, but the fact that they've got Buendia getting 7 assists, which is more than Grealish and Maddison, the fact that he's creating chances for these goals, and you've got the goal scorer in Timo Pukki, I think that's what you need out of him.
How many appearances has he had?
He's made just over 2,000 minutes. I'm not sure how many appearances he has.
I think it's 26.
Then obviously that depends how many of them are subs and whatever. But that's Grealish has it's got 2,300 and Maddison 2,400. Again, that's minutes.
If he's had 20, let's say he's had 26 appearances, and he's got 7 assists and 0 goals. He's 7
assists, right?
7 assists and 0 goals. So that's 7 direct goal contributions.
Yeah.
Out of all the games he's played this season, he has contributed to a goal in 27% of them. That is not a good stat for an attacking midfielder.
Norwich score in general.
How many goals have Norwich scored this season? Not a abundance, not a plethora of goals.
But then I don't think you can expect just this one player, this Argentinian who signed from Getafe for £2 million to be all this that Grealish is. That people knew Grealish was, and people knew.
Well, I think I want you to change your argument slightly. I think you want to say that Buendia would be a better buy in the summer, a better bargain than a club to splash out on Maddison and Grealish would.
Well, I agree with that, and I think I touched on that earlier, but that wasn't my main point, which is true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, linking to the amount of money you buy them from, I think Buendia's potential output. Let's say they all went to United. Let's just say in 3
Okay. Yeah. That's.
And the price tag's all right. We can make up numbers now, whatever. The output you'd get out of Buendia would be greater for the price tag than Grealish's output per price tag, if that makes sense.
So let's say, I don't know how much Grealish is valued for, but let's stick a price tag of 60 million on him. Villa wants 60 million for him. They spent 120 million in the summer. They want their best player. Let's say they want 60 million for him. All right. However good or bad people think he is, he would still probably contribute more to a United team for 60 million than Buendia would for 10 or 12 or 8 or however much he's worth.
Because I'm not sure he would, because Buendia is not Norwich's best player in the way Grealish is Villa's best player. So, Grealish has kind of got, this arrogance about him, which is welcome, because not only is he their captain, he's a talisman. Everything goes through him, so I think his numbers are slightly supercharged. That's not the same with Buendia, and Buendia or Grealish wouldn't be the best player at United. They'd probably have Bruno Fernandes played next to him, Martial was somewhere there, Rashford somewhere there, possibly Pogba. I mean, who knows about Pogba? But that's again besides the point. So, and again, 12 million. What is that percentage of 60? Is that 20%? Yeah, that's 20%.
Let's not try and do maths.
No, that's 20 times about 5. That's 20. Okay, that's 20%. So, but you definitely would get more than 20% of the output out of Buendia than Grealish's output. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense.
Yeah. I get. It's like you're kind of talking about a ratio game.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I get what you're saying, and I watched Buendia last year in the Championship. Ripped us apart every time he played us. Very good player, very talented player. You mentioned his potential, which I think he does have. I'm still not going to class him in the same bracket as Maddison and Grealish. Let's say yet. He could pull something out of the bag.
I can agree with that.
So we're going to end that there. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I don't have high hopes, if I'm honest. But,
watch this space. in a year's time when he's tearing it up in a United shirt, we'll come to this episode. All right, what is your hot take, Alfred?
Right, my hot take. Now, actually, in the episode that we filmed last week, which has not aired, so I'm not really sure why I'm referencing it because nobody knows what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. This is a hot take which I've reversed, if you would. And I've got some stats for this one this time. So, the time for football's return is correct.
In England?
In England.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to start by talking about the Championship. So, as I've mentioned twice already, today's Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday bank holiday. Training resumed yesterday. So players went back to training, socially distant if they tested negative. If they tested positive, then they're isolating for a week before they're allowed on the training ground. All the indoor buildings are closed at training grounds, which means no one can, because the risk of catching coronavirus indoors is much greater than catching outside. It's all closed. All the buildings are closed indoors, so the dining rooms, the showers, etc. There's no official date for the startup, but I believe for the Championship, they've said June 20th earliest. So that's about another month, and that's a long time. I was going to get some stats about the death rates in the UK, but I honestly, it feels a bit lengthy and irrelevant, but they're falling currently.
Yeah.
And so are infection rates in the UK. So by a month, if everything stays as it is, which is completely in doubt, then I think it would be a good place to have, 22 players on a pitch. But what about the contact on the pitch, you say? 6 minutes of the 90 per game, I spent direct contact one-on-one. 6 minutes of the 90 are spent pretty much on top of each other. So that's marking from corners, etc., marking from set pieces. That's not a lot. So the risk of catching it outdoors as well, very low, as I said. Right, testing. This week in the Championship, 1,014 tests carried out, 2 positive. Both from Hull City, coincidentally. Which is, maybe some would say slightly fishy, given that they haven't won in 2020 or in an absolute free-fall. But, that's open to interpretation. In the Premier League. So actually, what I really want to do in this hot take is respond to some tweets that I saw.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you saw, but when they announced that players were positive in the Premier League, all the comments were cancel the season and etc., null and void. Between the 19th of May and the 22nd of May, 996 players were tested. 2 were positive. That's 0.2% of the players tested were positive. Now, if you got 0.2% of an exam wrong, you wouldn't drop the subject. I think you'd say that you've been doing pretty well in that subject.
Oof.
If you lost 0.2% of a bike, the bike would still work. There is the amount that have tested, and Charlie Austin also tweeted this, the amount of people that have tested positive is nothing compared to the amount of people tested negative. And I think at the end of the day, and what I want to round this little speech off with, is we have to trust the system, because I believe the system has been put in place. I can see your face. You didn't like that. The system has been put in place, tested in Germany, done well in Germany. If you're tested positive, you isolate for 2 weeks, isolate for a week. You're not allowed in the training ground. And at the end of the day, it's scientists and medical professionals making this decision. Trust the system. What are you saying?
Okay, so in the episode you referenced to, it isn't out and will not ever be out. Anyway, so your hot take was that football shouldn't return, and I firmly agreed with that. And I do firmly agree that it should not return. As much as I want it to, and as much as one side of me is saying, yeah, I want to see QPR again, even though it definitely won't be in person, whatever. I want to see Premier League. I know, and I firmly believe at least, that it shouldn't go back. I saw an article today on BBC Sport saying there's a 25% increase in injury to players. The stats they've used to calculate that, I don't know, and I won't pretend that I know. Because due to lack of playing they've had and now going to be rushed in such an intense. I mean, the Premier League.
Also, 25% increase.
Yeah,
I mean, that's very vague because increase
that's
from the injuries while they were playing.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, a couple other things. One, the 0.2% rule or whatever statement. Let's say was that 2 players who tested were positive?
2 players out of basically 1,000 tests.
Right, cool. But let's say those 2 players, or let's say even one of them lost their life. Unfortunately, whatever, they had an underlying condition. Does that change it? Because it's the same stat. It's just one was dead. So I didn't like that bit particularly, and that bit on the test. We're not comparing a mark you lost in an exam to someone's life.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stretch. Yeah, that is true, and also a lot of players have come out and said Kante's worried about it. Deeney doesn't want to play for the safety of his son. But quite honestly, if they're sensible and they're following the rules, there is no reason why they shouldn't go back to contact training within 2 weeks.
I agree. 2 more things to add on that. One, we talk about footballers coming out and saying who are against it. Danny Rose, I think his point he made was excellent. Basically, why is it in their interest to be guinea pigs? And I think he's definitely got a point there. He's saying that they're doing this ultimately the Premier League and the government are doing this for the money. They can talk about entertainment, doing it for the people's morale. Shut up. They're doing it for the money. The money that's in football, money that's in the Premier League. That's why they're doing it. That's what's funded, their decision, their outcome, whatever. And Danny Rose is completely right. Why should they have to be the source of entertainment as if they're in a circus? People are paying to watch them. Whatever. That's their job isn't to risk their lives. And one more thing, which I have not forgotten, is that one thing that struck social media on the first week the Bundesliga was back and Dortmund played Schalke, because that was kind of the star game, is that the celebrations, they weren't next to each other. And on the bench,
it was the celebrations you have to do. You can't high five.
But why? Because in the box they're all holding hands from corners. In the wall they're all standing next to each other. Just hugging each other for 2 seconds is nothing.
And also, if they all test positive before the game, if they all test negative before the game, then
exactly that annoys me personally. All these, they're not even.
I think it's just making a statement, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but also some other games I watched that weekend. If I watched the highlights of them, because they were going on the same time as Dortmund, but because they weren't as big games and they weren't being televised, I think the restrictions were a bit less so, because those guys were hugging instead of.
It's about making a statement.
That's not consistent through the Bundesliga. But no, I think that brings a close to that hot take.
I would just, before we end it, just like to say, these are hot takes. Unpopular football opinion, as Hugo mentioned, in the episode that keeps getting referenced and didn't air and never will air because it actually technically doesn't exist, I argued the opposite side. So this doesn't necessarily mean that we believe it. We're picking a side and we're arguing it for entertainment purposes. No other reason.
I feel strongly about Buendia, but hey, that boat is.
Okay. I'd love for him to just get sold for nothing to Huddersfield. Okay, let's move on to section 2. As we've just mentioned, the Bundesliga, we could sail swiftly into the next section. So, you've got something to tell me about today's game. So today
was the Classico.
Take it away.
Between Dortmund and Bayern. Bayern came away 1-0 victors at Dortmund. Couple of things I wanted to pick up on in the game. First of which being Alfonso Davies. What a player he is. Considering the fact that he's not actually a left back. Signed from Toronto, I want to say. He was a refugee in Ghana, then moved to Canada, and now is playing for one of the best teams in the world. And today, just another unbelievable performance from him, Alfie.
Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he? Decent.
He's unbelievable.
Decent player.
Haaland turned, I think it was Alaba on halfway and was through on goal, and Davies wasn't even the TV screen at this point. He sprints back and catches
I
hard.
think he racked up a speed that is in the top 10 record speeds in the Bundesliga of all time.
I would not be surprised. And with Haaland's finishing and his record, you definitely wouldn't be surprised of that one to sail into the net. Probably the biggest talking point in the game was the VAR decision, or rather not VAR decision, against Jerome Boateng, who, in a shot by Haaland again, Boateng was on the floor, and in real time, it looked like he turned his back on the shot and hit his back man out for a corner. But when slowed down, it was evident it hit his elbow, and as he was kind of thrusting his back off the floor, in doing so, his elbow came out into a very unnatural position, hit his elbow and went wide. It didn't even go to VAR, which is odd because some decisions which are so blatantly not needing of VAR go to VAR, and this one didn't.
No, I have seen the incident, but I wasn't watching the game. Were there appeals? Were there big appeals?
It looked like in real time.
Yeah. And I do want this to become, when the Premier League's back and there's more football, it's going to be easier to talk about VAR decisions, because I feel like that can be a very, very interesting topic. Penalty. That's really there is to say on that.
Yeah, no, it's a penalty. In my opinion,
actually, the red card, the official red card offence is denying obvious goal scoring opportunity by handball. I think that's what it was. That could potentially not even just be a penalty, red card. It's up for debate that, but there was neither, which is odd. But if there's no appeals and the ref, as you say, in real time, and it's more the players didn't notice it rather than the ref, I find more. It's going to be bad week. We are going to pick people, teams, anything, any object that moves that's football related. And we're going to discuss whether they've had a good week or a bad week. So I'm going to do good week. Hugo's going to do bad week. I'm going to start good week. Now I want to talk about him because his name has been in the press a lot, even though it's a very obvious one. That is Timo Verner. So if you're not caught up to date with the Bundesliga, Timo Verner scored a hat-trick. Timo Verner scored a hat-trick in their 5-0 win against Mainz. I think that's how you say it. I'm not a German. He loves scoring against Mainz. In the reverse fixture, he scored a hat-trick as well in their 8-0 win, which was Leipzig's record Bundesliga win. And in that game, he also got 3 assists. He has scored 24 goals this season, and he has scored more than once in 7 separate occasions.
Wow.
So, he's on fire. He is linked with Liverpool, although Klopp has said that they're not, with the pandemic, they're not actually concerned with bringing players in at the moment. But he has been heavily, heavily, heavily linked with Liverpool. And I'm sure Liverpool fans would love to get him in. Not sure who he'd start over, quite honestly. But yeah, Timo Werner had a very, very good week.
Just before I move on to my bad week, the Mainz English account on Twitter tweeted something like, Klopp, can you come get Werner already? Because obviously Klopp used to manage at Mainz and Liverpool are linked to Werner.
Very clever. Tweets with so many levels.
Anyway, on to my bad week, and I'll be talking about Schalke. In particular, no, not in particular. They've had 2 games since football's come back, and on that, they've lost 7-0. One of them was to Dortmund, and there's no shame losing to Dortmund, but losing in the way they did, there definitely is some. They lost 4-0, as I'm sure many of you know, and the most outstanding thing for me was their lack of presence going forward. They didn't trouble Berkey in goal, or the 3 centre-backs. They started with a man called Benito Rahman, who I've never heard of. As you can imagine, he's not a very prolific goal scorer. And then a man called Bergstaller came on. Just as bad. Funnily enough, they played the next week. The following week, they hosted Augsburg, who were 12th, and at the time, I think Schalke were 6th. And they lost 3-0 at home, where they changed their shape. They moved from the 3 at the back, which I'm a big fan of, especially in the Bundesliga. I think a lot of teams, Leipzig and Dortmund, come to mind. We play 3 at the back really well. But anyway, So they moved to a man called something Gregovic. I can't read my writing. He didn't score either. So Schalke are really lacking this presence going forward. They're managed by David Wagner now, who's obviously at Huddersfield, took them up, and they were known for being quite an attacking, fluid unit. Something he's not necessarily managing to do at Schalke, albeit he's definitely turned the club round from where he took them, from when he took over. The last thing I'll touch upon on this is they've got a real mare in goal. I don't know if you saw, but this bloke called Schubert, he played against Dortmund and he made so many howlers. And they've got this young keeper called Nubel, who was supposed to be the next Neuer.
Yeah.
Yeah, last season he was linked. He was all this eyes the next Neuer, because especially that's when Neuer was having, very much a dry patch. But he's on the bench, and they've been rotated, to my understanding, throughout the whole year, similar to the Karius Mignolet days of Liverpool, and that's what it feels like.
It's funny, changing our keeper's always been it's become a big deal.
Yeah,
isn't it? You change your centre mids, and everyone's like, "Oh, one change today." But you change your keeper, and it becomes, I know. Just thought I mentioned that. Yeah. So is that all we have to say on Good Week, Bad Week?
it is.
Next week, I mean, I'd reckon I've got so many flies on my desk. Last week probably would have been Hudson-Odoi, but he's just having a mare of a lockdown, really. Something to be said for him.
Grealish and Walker.
Yes, and Aurier. So a stat: Aurier's got more lockdown breaches than clean sheets for Spurs this season.
Oh wow!
I know.
Wow.
So,
Alfie, do you want to go into predictions?
In the episode that we keep mentioning that doesn't exist, we did predictions for Bundesliga Week 27. The scoring works. We did 3 points for correct result, 1 point for correct winner. So, Hugo, you've got the results. Tell us the scores.
So, you came away as the victor, 9-7, because you got 2 3-pointers, which I think I've got more overall winners. But you got more scorelines correct, and that's what we did it for you.
Okay.
Let's go on to this game week, or I should say not this game week, because we're filming this on a Tuesday, and there's a bunch of midweek fixtures.
Yeah, this starts Friday 29th, this game week, and it's 26th.
This will be, so as it comes out, this is the game week that starts tomorrow. Okay, so Freiburg are hosting Bayer Leverkusen, and I've gone for a 1-0.
I am going to go for a 2-1 by Leverkusen, away win.
Wolfsburg are hosting Frankfurt. I've gone for 2-1 Wolfsburg win. As we record this, I should say Wolfsburg just thrashed Leverkusen 4-1.
Yeah, I am going to say 2-0 Wolfsburg.
Hertha Berlin hosting Augsburg. I've gone for a 0-0.
Interesting, because Hertha have been scoring.
They have been.
I'm going to go a 1-0 Hertha Berlin. Interesting.
Mainz, they host Hoffenheim. I've gone for a 2-0 Hoffenheim victory. Nope, that's not true. 2-0 Mainz victory.
Okay. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Hoffenheim.
Marvellous. Schalke, team obviously I spoke about, they host Werder Bremen. I've gone for a 1-1. Werder just drawn to Gladbach.
I haven't gone for a draw yet.
That's true.
I'm going to go ball draw 0-0.
Ball draw. Bayern Munich are hosting Dusseldorf.
3-0 Bayern.
I've gone for the same. So let's hope that doesn't matter. It counts that, doesn't it? Gladbach, they host not Hertha Berlin, the Union Berlin, the one that Mr. Sebi Polter plays for. I've gone for 2-1, so I should say, to Gladbach.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Gladbach.
Nice. Dortmund travel to Paderborn. I want to hear your result first, because mine won't change either way. But
I'm going to go 4-0 or 5-0. Right, I haven't had a big score yet. I'm going to go 5-0 Dortmund.
Wowee. I've gone for the 3-1 because although Dortmund's defence has been better, they still a bit leaky.
I can I see them scoring 5 goals? Maybe. We'll see.
And the last fixture is Köln against RB Leipzig, and I've gone for a 2-1 away win.
Oh, so have I.
Okay, that's cool. That's no worries there. Over to you.
Right, so that was the predictions for game week 29 in the Bundesliga. That runs through to 1st of June. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. My quiz is, as we love on the show, career path themed. I've chosen a team, the team being Liverpool.
Okay. Interesting to see how this is formatted.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a player, and you have to tell me if they've played for Liverpool or not. 10 questions.
Is it all yes or no?
All yes or no.
Okay,
Simple,
all right.
quick,
Interesting.
easy.
I like it. Changed up the quiz. All right, okay. Right,
we're going to start with ex-QPR left back, Paul Konchesky. Did he not play for Liverpool?
Paul Konchesky played for Liverpool. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That is correct. You're already halfway to your record score.
Okay, there's no need to mark it.
Right. George Weah. Did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
George Weah. I've absolutely no idea. But I don't think he played in England.
Well, you've got 50-50s now. So this is like an unofficial quiz. You know, it's 50-50. It's just changing up the quiz.
I'm going to go for no. I think he played for Bolton. I think. That could be wrong.
He can't play for more than one club.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Well, you got it right. He didn't. Very, very good. 2 out of 2. Right, we move. Did Robbie Savage, did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
Is he a Scouser?
I think he is a Scouser.
But I still don't think he played for Liverpool. A bit before our day, Alfie. You haven't helped me out one bit.
Well, no. Well, yes and no. I've watched Robbie Savage when he played for Derby.
Yeah. I know, exactly. I only played for Derby. That's about it. I'm going to go for... I think I played for Everton. But again, that could be rubbish. I'm just going to go for no.
That is correct. We are 3 from 3. Right. Ex-QPR player, Kieran Dyer. Did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
Dyer. When you said the left-back one, by the way, I thought you were going to say Jack Robinson. Anyway. Kieran Dyer. I've absolutely no idea. Again, this is not making myself look very good, even though I've got them right. Because you've had 2 no's in a row, so yeah, he played for Liverpool.
He did not play for Liverpool.
Oh, you've done me. You've done
That's 3 from 4. Ex-QPR player, Trevor Sinclair. Did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
He's a big player. I should really know this.
Oh, I didn't know this if it helps.
Okay, right. By that logic, you wouldn't know he played for Liverpool. You wouldn't know he's not played for Liverpool. So, because of that statement you just said...
What? What did you just say?
In my head it works. He played for Liverpool. Final answer.
That is incorrect. He did not play for Liverpool.
I knew he didn't play for Liverpool.
Right.
Am I the worst enemy? Right.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Jimmy Floyd.
Did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
I can't picture him in a red shirt. That's not a great logic to go off, but it's the only logic I've got at the moment. So, you know what? He didn't play for Liverpool either.
I like the confidence. It is correct. He did not play for Liverpool. Very. I don't know why I play the games. Okay, I'm not filming the podcast, but it's all right. Okay, now. All right. Paul Gascoigne. Did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
Wait, so Jimmy Floyd, he didn't, did he? He didn't.
So you said Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank did not play for Liverpool? Yeah. That was correct. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has never played for Liverpool. Very good.
I'm trying to work out how many in a row would you have of each, yes or no.
So you have got
Gascoigne.
2 wrong?
Yeah, Gascoigne. I don't think he has. Has he? No, I'm going to go for no. He didn't play for Liverpool.
That is correct. Well done.
Go
Right.
on.
Gareth Barry. Did he or did he not play for Liverpool?
Played for Everton. I know that. Gareth Barry, he didn't play for Liverpool, did he? Unless he plays as a youngster. But he went around so many clubs, he easily could have ended up there. Right?
Landed up there.
No. Yeah, sure. No, I'll go for no. I'll say he didn't play for Liverpool.
That is correct. Well done. I think you're on 6 out of 8.
So do I. Yeah, we'll take that.
Right. Oh, no. I think you're on 7 out of 9, actually.
Okay. I can live with that.
Jari Litmanen. Did he or did he not play for
He
Liverpool?
did. I'm pretty confident about that one. He went from Barcelona to Liverpool, I think.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Right?
Right.
There you are.
Did play
Yeah.
for Liverpool. A lovely, beautiful 8 out of 10 there. Congratulations. Even though it was a yes or no quiz. It was a career path theme quiz, and to pull together in such short notice, very enjoyable. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Quiz what?
Quizmaster.
Yeah, that's right. I just didn't hear you say it.
Right.
I just want you to question everything you have ever known. Quizmaster? Alright.
I'm tired.
I'm so tired. I'm knackered. Alright. Hugo.
Wait. Hand over to me. I've got a shout out
Okay.
on the comments. So, I just say thank you.
Oh, yeah. Because that didn't exist last time. Because the episode that never happened.
Yeah.
Right. Hugo, I'm going to hand over to you now.
Wait, start again.
Right, so thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, thank you. It's been a hard episode to get through, but I promise the only way is up. Hugo, what have you got to say?
Yeah, just before we leave you, a couple shout outs for our second episode. BBM Visuals says, I've watched it, great episode. And Max Berman, loving it. Both with 2 likes on their comment, which is just lovely, really. We do promise that next episode is going to be so much better because we have a very, very special guest. And the episode after that, me and Alfie, our mouths are watering just thinking about the episode we've got in prospect. So we do hope you've enjoyed.
I don't want to big it up, though. I don't want to big it up because it is going to be amazing, but it might also not be. It might be shambles, but it might be also good shambles as well. Yeah, I also, just before we go, want to say thank you to Max Berman. He's definitely been our most loyal and supportive viewer so far. Getting in touch with both of us to say that he's enjoying the videos. So yeah, Max, if you're still watching, appreciate it, brother. Keep the likes and the views coming. Tell your friends. That's what we like to see. Yeah, I think that's all we've got to say. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Something I would like to say. We had 8 followers on our Twitter, which isn't magnificent. It's gone down to 7, which is...
How did it go down?
I don't know. We're not even posting anything yet. Oh, my days. It's embarrassing. Follow our Twitter, ABOU_talk, or just search Talk About Nothing, and we should be there. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time in a bit.